Here.
Senator Henry.
Here.
Senator Bernstein.
Here.
Senator Secure Santos.
Here.
Senator Artiga Valencia.
Here.
Senator Bouton. President Hernandez.
Here.
President March. President Cooper.
Here.
President Lana.
Here.
Cool. Do I hear a motion to approve last week's minutes?
I don't know. After I approve the minutes, I have a motion for the agenda.
Okay. Motion to approve the minutes.
We have one.
Oh, he's not here.
Oh, we should highlight last week's.
Never mind.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Morgan. Good. Motion?
Motion. Second.
So, all right, moving on. Motion to approve the agenda?
Yeah, motion.
All right, here we go. All right, moving on. Students speak up. Any students here tonight wishing to speak out? Awesome. New business. First up, College Downs Constitution. That's you.
That's you. Would you like to explain what?
Okay, guys, so, we've been in close for a while, but it occurred to me about 2 months ago, we were trying to do elections, but I'd never actually physically seen our Constitution before, and on talking to Victoria, and I was like, hey, where's the Constitution? But they didn't have it. I contacted the previous college president, and he was like, I haven't seen it either. And also, like, we have a Constitution, I didn't know about this. So, we were like, let's get it, and guess we'll just make one, so. Ta-da!
They also renamed themselves. Would you like to explain
Yeah, so.
your beautiful name?
Yeah, so we're formally called SNCM College Democrats, but we put a pun on it, and we're not called the SNCMs because. Thank you. Also, we had a little bit of a change in the way that we do elections. So I put term limits on everyone on the exec board. The reason I did that was I don't think it's fair to like the president to hold a position for like 3 years. That's not fair, especially because on exec you get a lot of different opportunities from different like campaigns, different political organizations. Also, because the job of president is extremely stressful and you are getting a lot of like people from different like the whole government talking to you, I said that in order to like be president, you have to please held position as a vice or treasurer or secretary. So there's that on that. My club already talked it through. We held a vote. We agreed that we like this Florida Constitution and sent it to me. We got approved. Now it's you guys.
Perfect.
Any questions or comments? Or concerns? Thank you. Cool. Do I hear a motion to move to roll call?
Motion for roll call.
Senator Swartz.
Aye.
Senator Bellgood. Sorry, I messed up my attendance. I usually mark who's, I mixed it up. Senator Wilson.
Aye.
I put the. Senator Walsh. Senator Pence.
Aye.
Senator Benner.
Aye.
Senator Nortman.
Aye.
Senator McKenzie.
Aye.
Senator Perillo.
Aye.
Senator Johnson.
Aye.
Senator Lewis.
Aye.
Senator Utz. Senator Malaga.
Aye.
Senator Henry.
Aye.
Senator Bernstein.
Aye.
Senator Secure Santos.
Aye.
Senator Artiga Valencia.
Aye.
President Hernandez.
Aye.
President Cooper. President Lana.
Aye.
As if any of the chair of the ayes have it, this club constitution passes. I'd like to make a brief pause real quick. Mindy, I just got the slideshow. Did you want to do a guest speaker section or do you want to do that with the bill? Let's do it with the bill. Does that work? Okay. So, all right, moving on. Natural History, St. Mary's Natural History Society.
Is anyone here?
Is anyone here for this one?
Do you want me to just?
Yeah, can you talk about it?
Okay. So I was recently approached by a couple of students who are part of the natural history class, which is under environmental studies. And they wanted to expand that into an interest group amongst club, within the SGA club. Apparently there's like a conference that they'd be interested in going to involving, how environmental change has occurred, throughout the years, as well as looking at, doing bird watching and identification of different birds. It's very chill, supposed to be educational, and corresponds very nicely with students who may have taken this class, as well as other environmental studies students. Also, it was modeled after the Constitution, so I know the Constitution is good.
Yeah, it is.
Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Yeah. Did anyone like give you an excuse for why they're not present?
That might be my fault.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot to email them and tell them.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering, yeah.
Okay.
I know they've been doing a couple of like small things just from their class already, but they just wanted it to become a more efficient in an official capacity, and so they spoke to me. They've been very active in making sure that they have all the materials that they need and getting their getting the mock constitutions that they can make theirs in time. So I can vouch for the fish.
Senator Bielanski.
You mentioned a conference, would like the SGA be expected to fund all of that,
So
or
I think it's a free conference. I don't remember. It was just one of those things that they were interested in looking at, but it wasn't like a set part of their club. It was majorly just looking at the educational aspects of like natural history. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments or concerns? Cool, do we hear a motion to move roll call? Of course.
Senator Schwartz.
Aye.
Senator Wilson. Senator Walsh.
Aye.
Senator Pence.
Aye.
Senator Benner.
Aye.
Senator Norman.
Aye.
Senator McKenzie.
Aye.
Senator Perillo.
Aye.
Senator Johnson.
Aye.
Senator Lewis.
Aye.
Senator X. Senator Walker. Senator Malaga.
Aye.
Senator Henry.
Aye.
Senator Bernstein.
Aye.
Senator Sapiro Sanchez.
Aye.
Senator Artigo Valencia.
Aye.
President Hernandez.
Aye.
President Cooper.
Aye.
President Lano.
Aye.
Is the opinion shared that the ayes have it, this club constitution passes?
Oh, look at you.
It's me. So, hi, I'm also Safe Route Manager. And our advisor was pushing me all semester to rewrite the Constitution because it had a lot of things in there that we don't do anymore, like driving 2 bars that don't exist, and a very convoluted pay scale for drivers. So this is just a revision of our charter, not quite a club constitution because we're a program, so we tend to distinguish those by calling them charters. And all it does is go over the positions of manager, supervisor, drivers. It sets what their roles and responsibilities are. I also have a little spot in the bottom for future bylaws, which will really dictate how we run our operations night to night. That I haven't completed at the moment, but that won't change anything. This is just really getting rid of the 1 bar that we don't go to anymore and making it a little more vague. I meant to make it more vague, but I didn't. But it's explicit that we only go to the green door because that's the place that we're allowed to go right now. It's the only place students do go to, really. That's it.
Yeah, I just want to clarify for everyone, Safe Ride is not a club, so they don't fall under the same requirements for clubs. So you might notice that the Constitution is, because it's not a Constitution, sure, that it's set up kind of differently. So it doesn't have the same expectations. It's not like not all the rules, they have their own.
And that's why it's a Safe Ride charter.
Yeah, that's why it's a charter, not a club constitution, and why they don't have to have like a president, a vice president, and a treasurer.
Any questions or comments or concerns?
On the agenda, it says constitution.
Yeah. Motion on the agenda. All right, any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Under purpose, you say the purpose of this club, like, you still have to say club.
Change it to organization.
Thank you.
It's on the folder.
Yeah, I used the blank template and just kind of filled in the blanks and was frantic because Amber will be so nice. Any other questions, comments, or concerns that I can answer?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. No, cool. Motion to move the roll call?
Motion.
Second. Okay. Senator Schwartz.
Aye.
Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Walsh. Senator Pence. Senator Benner. Senator Norman. Senator McNesby. Senator Perillo. Senator Johnson. Senator Lewis. Senator Utz. Senator Walker. Senator Malaga. Senator Henry. Senator Bernstein. Senator Shapiro Santos. Senator Ortiga Valencia. President Hernandez. President Cooper. President Lana.
It is the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it, this charter passes. Moving on to the electric vehicle charging station environmental mini grant. Yeah, I'll bring your presentation.
Is this the Tesla? Don't you really go? I heard we're gonna get the money for the car.
Hi, my name's Caitlin. I am the Sustainability Fellow. I've been here before. And Minnie is intern with the Office of Sustainability. So we have an opportunity to purchase an electric charging station for the college. So we're just going to talk about what that would mean. And we're hoping to get funding from it from the Environmental Mini Grant, which is a section of the county grant. Okay. So we are aiming to install a publicly available electric charging station. Sorry, a little thing in my throat. And this would be available to students, staff, faculty. We're hoping to put it in either the campus center parking lot or lot C, where it can be easily accessed by anyone. There are some constrictions to where it can go, just based on electricity stuff that I don't really want to explain, or really know how to explain. But basically, we only have a couple options, but we're trying to make it as accessible as possible and as visual as possible, because we also want this to be a public kind of declaration that we're moving in a green transportation way. And so why go electric? We're thinking about the long term and in diverging from fossil fuels and dirty energy towards clean energy. So, that's a picture of the solar panels we have on in Rundle. And hopefully we would get a solar panel to actually power this electric charging station. Depending on where it gets put, would depend on where we put our solar. So it would kind of symbolically power that electric charging. So if someone drove their car here, they would be fueled by the sun. And so we're trying to encourage students, staff, and faculty to use alternate forms of energy and transportation. I've gotten a couple emails from current students, admissions events, parents being like, hey, I have an electric car, can I bring it? So I think there's definitely a lot of interest in this project, and I think it'd be good for the college in general. And so these are kind of pricey. We broke it down, and just to buy basic parts, I have the prices up there. In total, to get a charging station that has two separate little plugs is going to be $2,297. But that price does not include shipping or installation, so we're requesting the full amount that's in the environmental mini grant, which I think is $1,600. And so also because we don't know where the location is, we cannot fully know what the final price is. For example, there's some places where we would have to remove a piece of like brick path and then replace it somewhere else. So basically, we're not really sure, but that's the estimated cost, and we're just kind of hoping to finance this however we can. There also is a Maryland rebate program, so after installation, you could apply and get 40% back. So that would probably go back to SGA, and so that's a significant thing. And yeah, that's it. If anybody has any questions about anything, ask me now. Yeah? Oh, sorry.
Okay, how would this conflict with / have you talked to PS about like if it gets part of put in specific lots, like
will those cars get ticketed for parking there? Like, I don't drive, so I don't know exactly what the lot restrictions are, but like, that comes as a concern just because I know that ticketing is an issue around this concern.
Yeah, so we haven't, well, we've kind of talked with facilities and maintenance, facilities and planning has been, that's who I work under, so I've been talking with them a lot. And what other colleges do is, like University of Maryland, they have a special sticker that is for people who own electric cars, and they can park in those lots, and it would be heavily advertised that this spot is for electric cars only. And I'm not really sure yet if there's going to be a fine for parking illegally in an electric charging station when you don't have an electric car. I believe there probably would be a small fee for parking in a spot that was not, if you don't have an electric car, you park in an electric spot. But I think you'll see the pedestal mounted there, you'll see there'll be a sign, so I don't think there'll be any confusion between students, staff, faculty of, what that parking spot is.
Okay, I have one question. So what, if any, maintenance costs would there be for this, and would that also be coming through that signature?
If there are any maintenance costs, we have electricians on campus that are paid through facilities and planning, and I believe that they would take that on. Also, the companies that we're buying this from do have like a certain lifetime guarantee. I think it's like 3 years or something. So that would definitely not come out of SGA. So basically, the sustainability budget is really small, and we're just trying to finance different things. And this is just something that we really wanted to get, so we're just trying to get some help funding that. Oh, sorry, actually, you had a question first.
Yeah, mine's kind of similar. When you guys said you guys need to shipping, do you guys know roughly what the cost of shipping would be? Or installing it?
Since they're actually not too big, I don't think it'll be a lot. I think the biggest price that would be added on to this would be the installation, depending on where we can get it. Some locations won't cost anything, but other locations that may be more accessible will cost more to install. That's just why we're not really sure.
And my second question is, are we one of the first colleges where we sort of like leading this sort of installation of these sort of pumps, or like is this gonna be like how many other colleges have done this in?
I'm not sure. I know the University of Maryland definitely has them on multiple locations on campus. I think a lot of other colleges probably have something. I think the reason why we haven't yet is because we're such a rural campus, that it may be more difficult for people in St. Mary's County to have electric vehicles, but I don't know if you've noticed, I've seen Teslas all over campus, and definitely in St. Mary's County, so I think it's gaining popularity over the years.
So I have more of a statement, not necessarily a question. I fundamentally do not think this is in the purview of our responsibility to fund. There are certain things in which I think it is important that we fund now, and I don't care who funds it, even if it is us, including as all may well know, menstrual products and mental health. I think those are things that I do not care if the city buys to fund. We need to fund that, and we need to make some improvements. This seems more along the lines of things that we should not be funding. I love environmental costs, I love saving the environment, but this is infrastructure that a college needs to pay for, not us. I think our job is to help the students that are already here and not necessarily act as recruiting tools for students that may potentially come or to look like to better the image of the college. And while there might be some students on campus who could potentially have or do have Teslas or other was it EV?
is a registered
Different market. Who have EV vehicles? This is just not our ballpark, I don't think. And this is, I think, one of those examples in which the SGA uses piggyback. So I'm going to vote no on this, and that's just, I'm going to say my piece.
Okay, thank you. If I could just respond to that, from my understanding, the environmental mini grant section of the talent grant is specifically for environmental themed projects. And so from my understanding, that money has not been used yet this semester. So that is where we would be taking this from, not necessarily other sections of SGA. We're also, this is definitely not the full cost of the charging station. So yeah, that. And also, I think it's not just for images. As a sustainability fellow, I've had to confront that a lot, of the idea that we're just doing this so we can look better. But I really don't think that. I think that this is a step in the right direction. Personally, I believe that electric vehicles are the future. And I think that this is just really us catching up with other people, like the University of Maryland has multiple on campus. And this also would be free, so that's anyone who had an electric vehicle could use this, and it's basically free electricity. So it's not like we're charging people to be here, it's a free service, so that would just be better.
I agree that EV is the next step. I don't agree that we should be funding it as a student body. And while I do recognize that the town grant has a fund explicitly for environmental purposes, I disagree that the fund should be used for this. I think the fund should be used to fund student activities and things that really are pertinent to student life, as opposed to supplementing budgets, shortfalls in other departments, including student. So while that does exist, I personally do not think we should be funding that, and I also think that we need to have a conversation in the future, because I will not be here, we need to have a conversation about perhaps changing the purview of that grant. That's it.
We're not gonna have time for more back and forth like that, so I think if you've got your hand up now, if it's already been said, try not to say it again. I saw everybody's hand go up.
Actually, I have a quick point of information. So this is over $1,500, but since this is the last SGA meeting year, like, we would have to suspend the rules for the vote behind this meeting, just like, it technically is counts. Just a quick, just so you are aware.
Okay, McKenzie, you're up next.
Yeah, sorry, I have a question. Do you know, are there any other local electric charging stations in this area, or would this be like the only one? I was just wondering about other options.
You could look it up on your phone real quick if you want. I don't know how to do this, but I think, I'm actually not sure if there's any free local ones around here. I know there's one in Annapolis Mall area. I'm not sure about St. Mary's County.
Okay, so if students aren't able to currently bring electric cars on campus, is my understanding because there aren't any options?
Yeah, so as of now, I don't think they could, you can purchase your own plug for I don't really know how many amps has to go into that, but I think that the way that our parking lots are set up right now, it's not available for students to plug in anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. There's 3 in the area.
All right, we have time for 2 more questions, max, and Rebecca, your hand's been up for a while. Good.
Okay, so just from what I understand, the price is not seem to be finalized, that's okay. And then, so that, would we then pay for the price in full?
I was just hoping that whatever you had in the environmental news grant, this semester, we could have.
For the,
I guess it's
To
like
cover the
1,600, just to cover part of the cost.
so,
We have time for 1 more, because you're still standing. So.
I was just thinking because it's really common for students to park their car and leave it in the spot. So I guess my main concern would be if you were to have something like this and a student did have an evening on campus, what I guess measures would you have in place to make sure someone doesn't park their car in the electric vehicle spot and just leave it there? Because that would be my concern, that we have this one spot and it's basically one person.
Yeah, so this actually comes with 2 cords, and they can be extended beyond the 2 parking spots, so you could have like 4 cars parked and then the cord will extend, so if, you know, someone has their car charging, then you can actually see that it's full, you just take it out, put it on your car. So I think that's a start.
And we probably have to work with PS to make sure that like one person isn't just using that as like their personal parking spot in that parking lot. Like probably create some sort of like clocking system with the charging station. From my understanding, it takes a while for a car to charge. So like they would have to leave their car there probably for a while, not more than like.
It's not more than 12 hours. It depends on which one we get. I believe that these ones are the DC fast charging. So I think it's within a couple hours that it can charge. I don't know the exact number, but I think it's definitely less than 12, maybe less than 6.
All right, that's it for questions.
Can I have one question?
Yeah.
How much money are we voting on?
1,600. It's on the presentation, it's on the bill.
It's on the
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
grant
I'm
itself. Sorry.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
So moving on to the actual bill.
Yeah.
Uh,
The grant.
The grant. Here's the actual grant. It has a description of everything you might want to know, as well as a breakdown on pricing. And the total money requested being 1,600, so we will have to suspend the rules if we want to vote on it. Okay, never mind, we have approval from CRC that we don't need to do that. So we can just move straight to roll call if someone makes a motion. Or more, hold on, pause. More questions or comments or concerns before we proceed?
What happens to the money if we don't use it?
From the grant?
So any money we don't use in any of our budget just goes into our rollover account. So it would just be sitting there. So we do have there's exactly $1,600 specified just for the environmental grant.
Any other questions or comments or concerns logistically before we move forward?
Point of information, is there typically rollover with the town grant money?
Yes, there is typically rollover.
Point of clarification, when you say typically roll over, do you mean, is it typically not used, or is it?
Yeah, is it typically not used? And I guess also point of information, does that like affect like the budget for next year in any large way?
No, so we each, we'll talk about the operating budget for next year later tonight, but the amount is still the same this year, so it's still $1,000 total, and it's 1,600 of that is going to the environmental grant. So it still could remain the same for next year. All that's gonna change is so if the money for this is used tonight or like the rest, so there's still like $2,000 left in the town grant itself. So that whole will just go and roll over account.
Any other questions or comments? Keep it brief if you've got any. Zach, the last one.
I think Alec made a good point about like that subsection of the budget and kind of the infrastructure and stuff. Maybe that should be some responsibility. But I think as of right now, because we do have like an environmental subsection of the budget, and this fits in with that, I don't think that should affect like this decision and maybe for future decisions that like the types of budgets we have should be evaluated. But I hope that makes sense. But I'm just saying because like it fits in.
Can I say something? I didn't mention this before, but this idea was a student idea. I have several interns who work in the Office of Sustainability with me, so it's not just coming from upper levels being like, hey, you should fund this for us. Like, this is a student idea, and we've been wanting to do this for a really long time, and it just hasn't been achievable until now. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right, do I hear a motion to move to roll call?
Second.
Senator Schwartz.
Aye.
Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Welch.
Nay.
Senator Pence.
Aye.
Senator Better. Senator Norman.
Aye.
Senator McKesney.
Aye.
Senator Perillo.
Aye.
Senator Johnson.
Aye.
Senator Lewis.
Aye.
Senator Utz. Senator Walker.
Aye.
Senator Malaga.
Aye.
Senator Henry.
Aye.
Senator Bernstein.
Nay.
Senator Sapiro Santos. Senator Ortiga Valencia.
Aye.
President Hernandez.
Aye.
President Cooper. President Lano.
Aye.
It is the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it, this town grant passes. All right, let's move on to Bill 1917. This was tabled from last week. Senator Walsh, do you have any more information?
Yes, so I did get in contact with Dr. Blumner, who was heading the whole program, and I received the financial information, which I shared with Jake, who's not here, hey, Jake.
It also goes here.
Yeah, gotcha.
Let me share it with
Do you have it up
I
there?
don't know if I have it.
Let me find it and share it with you. I'm sorry.
Share. Must it.
Yeah, so it has a breakdown of who is getting
It's all there.
There you
Ta-da. So here you can see the current contributions as well as anticipated contributions to the program for the Tibetan monks, Tin Mandal painting and dance performance. And our contributions, they haven't heard about it a whole lot yet. So they haven't added it, but they already have a significant amount that they already have contributed, as well as grants and different departments that they're still seeking funds to be committed yet. So our ability to offer $2,500 would help them out significantly, as well as be a reasonable contribution to this program for it to go and happen.
Any questions or comments or concerns?
Yeah.
Jake first, and you.
Just a quick comment. So just to be clear that since a lot of this money is coming from grants and we won't hear back until back whether or not they receive these grants until July. If these grants aren't received, then yes, this event basically won't happen because around $7,000 of the money for this event is coming from these grants. So the SGA, the $2,000 whatever SGA agrees to contribute will be rescinded if the grants aren't received because the event at that point won't happen. Just like if there's any concerns about if this event, if we contribute money, if we agree to contribute money and then the event doesn't happen.
Senator Pence?
Why is this yellow with the supports? Because that skews with the fund.
Oh,
It's
I wonder what it was a typo.
Yeah, this was just information received from the Asian Studies Department, so I think this was a typo on their end. But it should be a $200 from the session.
So, okay, so 200 total.
Yes.
So it's not 100.
Yeah, it's 200. But yeah, that's just a typo on their end.
Interesting. What a strange typo.
Good spot.
Any other questions or comments or concerns before we move to roll call? As a reminder, the total for the bill is $2,500. Okay. Do I hear a motion to move to roll call?
Motion.
Second.
Senator Swartz.
No,
Senator Wilson.
abstain.
Senator Walsh.
Abstain.
Senator Pence. Senator Benner. Senator Nortman.
Aye.
Senator McKenzie.
Aye.
Senator Perillo.
Aye.
Senator Johnson.
Nay.
Senator Lewis.
Aye.
Senator Utz.
Aye.
Senator Walker. Senator Malaga.
Abstain.
Senator Henry.
Aye.
Senator Bernstein.
Can you just, I don't know, last, how much is this like?
Okay.
Yes.
Senator Superior Sanchez.
Abstain.
Senator Ortega Valencia.
Aye.
President Hernandez.
Aye.
President Cooper.
Aye.
President Lano.
Aye.
Senator Bernstein.
Abstain.
Okay,
Motion moved to recess because we can't do math really quickly.
yeah, it takes me a minute, because abstention thing, it'll, yeah, it's fine.
Take 2 minutes.
Yeah, 6-minute recess, okay, so I'm gonna count how many times I go over. 1, 2, 3, do you have those? Here. 11, I have those, find them. 13, is the. I know. So how do you later?
Are you serious? You took it
So, you know the extension is me, second letter and abstain. And I is A, so I talk with what's the root? I was thinking. Right, so what I do is dashes are
Alright. Alright. End of recess. Is the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it, this bill passes? Alright, moving on. It's. Yes, we have bylaws and 1905S election code revisions.
I'm gonna request that I can sit, I am feeling fairly. Okay, so this is my bylaws amendment, the only kind of legislation I can submit. So I worked with the election code this semester, running the elections that were just finished, and noticed that there were a few issues, namely that I don't know when to hold elections. And so what I added at the end of Article 1 will be a timeline for the election. It is done in weeks of the semester to account for the fact that sometimes the semester dates change, and we'll do it slightly earlier in January, slightly later in January, so I didn't want to do it based on weeks of the month. I have it set up for the executive board, the Senate and class officers, and then the special elections that happen in the fall to fill the rest of the positions. Also, if you look at the bill and you scroll down, you will notice that there is a weird little thing. Okay, also I added that inside SMCM and all student emails and similar electronic communication is not allowed. This is to account for possible changes in the future regarding how our on-campus communication occurs. And then you'll see this part that gets crossed out. This is an administrative error that has happened in the bylaws. It happens because they passed a lot. So it's not being removed, it's just being moved to its correct space, which is the second part of the resolution where it gets put into the budgetary policy where it should be in the first place. Yeah, so it gets moved to Article 10, Section 1, Subsection 10.
And then you have your.
And then that is the additional information. It allows for some flexibility for the parliamentarian and election committee to manage a little more specifically, but create guidelines that'll help to ensure that there's the election time to allow the new executive board to get guidance from the previous one, as well as our advisor for the next one goes around.
Any questions, comments, or concerns? Do I hear a motion to move for roll call?
Motion. Second.
Wonderful. You guys, come on.
Senator Swartz.
Aye.
Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Walsh.
Aye.
Senator Pence. Senator Benner.
Aye.
Senator Norman.
Aye.
Senator McNesby.
Aye.
Senator Furlow.
Aye.
Senator Johnson.
Aye.
Senator Lewis.
Aye.
Senator Utz.
Aye.
Senator Walker.
Aye.
Senator Malaga.
Aye.
Senator Henry.
Aye.
Senator Bernstein. Senator Secure Santos.
Aye.
Senator Artigas Valencia.
Aye.
President Hernandez.
Aye.
President Cooper.
Aye.
President Lano.
It is the motion, the opinion of the chair, rather, that the ayes have it, this bylaws passes.
Thanks.
right, and our last piece of business tonight, Jake and or Colin, take it away, FY 2020 operating budget.
Start off. All right, so this is our operating budget for next year. So I'm just gonna kind of walk through a lot of changes we had to make. So one of the biggest changes is, so minimum wage for next year is increasing on January 1st. So we made the decision, instead of having to calculate the minimum wage at 10.10 for the fall semester, and then do the minimum wage at 11 for the spring semester, we just allocated as if the minimum wage is $11 for the entire year. This gives us a little bit of leeway in our budget in terms of like,
Finish that thought.
this is our budget a little bit of leeway in terms of how we allocated it. So everything's calculated as if we're allocating $11 per hour for minimum wage positions. What basically going to end up happening is, as soon as the minimum wage increases at January 1st, HR is basically going to be changing everyone's salary to $11 anyway. So for the fall semester, it'll be 10.10, and then as soon as January 1st hits, anything after that will be $11. So it's $11 listed here, but it'll be 10.10 basically for the fall semester, and then it's $12 after that. Okay. So as a result, we changed the budgets for some groups as a result of that. So point use budgets went up, state pride budgets went up. Any organization that operated in the wages went up because of a result of that. So there's going to be a couple of budget increases because of that. The biggest changes, there's GSMRF, we have lowered to $10 per student from $20 per student. This is just because we've been allocating $20 per student for the last couple of years, and they have a pretty decent sized budget built up already. So we are giving them the initiative to use that budget before we increase and give them more money in future years. So they're still receiving money from our budget for this next year, but they're receiving less than they would normally receive. Next change, so there are a couple new line items here. A couple of them are already been approved from budget. So like the March 20 lecture is inserted in there, the student life infrastructure fund is in there. The biggest change that has not been brought for SGA is the senior class funding. So this is very similar to the bill that was approved that everyone brought to the floor a couple weeks ago. So basically the idea is that for like most of the senior classes, that the idea of fundraising, the amount of money you need for a senior week is kind of unrealistic at this point. So SGA is going to contribute money to the senior class funding. And then the condition is we're gonna create conditions for it basically, so you still have to fundraise money. That's going to be on a call for Rebecca Affairs and to figure out what like you need to fundraise in order to receive this $10,000. So we're putting it in there right now just so it's considered in the operating budget, but it's not going to be like you just received $10,000 outright. Other changes we made, we increased program board budget slightly, so we added more money to the prevention section. We raised it from $1,500 to $4,000. The changes for the club allocations is in there, so we allocated $100,000 to their fund appeals for the entire year, which is basically just adding together their fund appeals for fall and spring together. And we've increased the Mercy fund appeals by $2,000 for each semester. The other big change I'm going to give to Colin to talk about, but if you may have noticed, Bike Shop is no longer included in our budget, so I'm going to let Colin talk about that decision.
So after a manager meeting where Rosalie and Rebecca, I, Jake, and Andrew were at, meeting with the different managers of the organization we funded, some problems came to light. We realized that the Bike Shop was keeping cash on hand and not turning it over to OSA. In some cases for months. And they've had problems with that in the past, and this is unaccounted for money that is coming from students. So based on the previous track record of years of financial mismanagement, we have decided to defund the Bike Shop. We have talked to the Bike Shop manager and the employees about this as well.
And to be clear, at this point, the only person who's hired next year is the manager. So there's no like employees who've been hired at the Bike Shop next year, and they have been being aware of this decision that's going to be voted on tonight. The main concern is the fact that we've had this conversation with Bike Shop for the past 3 or 4 years, or at least as long as I've been here, and they're still having the same issues over and over again, which is why we've chosen to remove them from our operating budget. if we want to choose to remove them under SGA operation entirely, then that's going to be a decision that has to be made next year. But as of right now, they have no funding for next year to operate.
If I may add to that, my first year in SGA, we had cut Safe Ride, bike shops budget by $10,000 from 15 because of these same issues. And that was an attempt to try to get them back on the right path. That didn't seem to work. Also, by taking them out of the budget does not mean that they cannot continue to function. It just means we can't pay them as mechanics because that's been the central issue is they seem to be working without doing anything. And that's where a lot of these issues come from. So it doesn't mean that operations will cease entirely. They can still function. It's just we're not going to support them the way we have in the past. Any questions, comments, or concerns for Jake or Colin? Yes, Sam.
The likelihood of this hasn't been decided yet, but when it comes to senior class funding, I'll just use my class as an example. So it came in with base funding of $4,000. When the conditions get implemented, will it be that from the point those conditions are implemented, we have to raise that specific amount of money, or will fundraising that I've done, like the other classes have done, already apply to that condition?
Yeah, so any fundraising right now will apply to that condition.
Okay.
So, yeah, so this is going to be conversations that have to happen between like the class presidents for next year and also Colin or Megan or Congress, and just because we don't want to make it less like you're going to get this $10,000 outright, you don't want to do anything for 4 years, because we don't want to have that happen. But at the same time, we want you to fundraise at least try it over the 4 years. The issues we've had is like the amount of money you need to fundraise over the 4 years is like kind of unrealistic, even if like you're a very active class. So we want to make sure that the senior class has like each senior class has like the same level of like senior week that like the class before that has had, without having to like completely like go all out every single year, because it's unrealistic. Because like there's gonna be there's potential for a different class president every single year. So we don't want that to like each class president have to like fundraise like $5,000 or something ridiculous like that. So it's like we want to keep it realistic, but still have a goal in mind.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Do I hear a motion to move to roll call?
Motion second.
Senator Schwartz.
Aye.
Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Walsh.
Aye.
Senator Pence.
Aye.
Senator Benner.
Aye.
Senator Norman.
Aye.
Senator McNesky.
Aye.
Senator Perillo.
Aye.
Senator Johnson.
Aye.
Senator Lewis.
Aye.
Senator Utz.
Aye.
Senator Walker.
Aye.
Senator Malaga.
Aye.
Senator Henry. Senator Bernstein.
Aye.
Senator Leo Santos.
Aye.
Senator Archie Valencia.
Aye.
President Hernandez.
Aye.
President Cooper. President Lana.
Aye.
Is the opinion, is the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it, this FY 2020 budget passes? Stop. All right, moving on to officer reports.
Yeah. Oh wait. Motion to amend the agenda.
Seconded.
We'd like to include Bill 1918 into the agenda.
Please open Bill 1918, Andrew. Has he been shared it?
He's seen it.
He's seen it?
It's not 2019.
Can I don't think I've been privy to.
Allow me to share it.
Please share it.
Oh, okay.
This is my last one. This is the last slide.
Don't everyone rush at once.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Right there, yeah, 1918.
Andrew, right there.
I was looking for.
So,
Oh my God.
so if you don't know, Andrew likes to collect books, specifically Gil Savage's old books, and he keeps them in the SGA office. And it's covered our office last year.
Yes, it's
So,
bad.
this bill is basically saying if he doesn't read these books, he's going to be impeached.
He would.
He put more books in there.
You put them back.
I put 5 more in.
Yes.
It was so empty.
I would like it to be known, all 90 books that I had are.
He is, yeah, I wasn't able to take a picture, but our entire bookshelf was full of Andrew books.
Full. It was not
Yeah.
our bookshelf, it was Andrew's.
Because this is kind of like a bill for the funding. And also, I wanted to write one more bill before my last date, so this is it. Yeah.
Anyway,
You will notice the many co-sponsors and sponsors of this bill.
There's much support for this bill.
are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Motion to amend the bill.
Seconded.
Can we change it to he will be impeached for this position?
Or risk impeachment.
I need edit access.
Give him access.
You don't like I'll edit it.
Yeah.
We had to take
Yeah, and it's also required that you
Also,
take pictures.
yeah, so I added a hereby resolve, the SGA exec board is required to take a photo in the office together, because I need something for my wall. Oh, I'm gonna be sad.
There we go.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns about this entirely malicious and awful bill?
Yeah, it's a personal, this goes to personal tax against Andrew.
Do I hear a motion to move to roll call? Carry on.
Now we get another row.
Good stuff.
Insert, all them right. Ew.
I apologize for their excessiveness.
Senator Swartz.
Aye.
Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Walsh.
Aye.
Senator Pence.
Aye.
Senator Benner.
Aye.
Senator Norton.
Nay.
Senator Smith. Aye.
No, nay.
She said nay. She began by 4. Senator McChesney.
Abstaining.
Senator Perillo.
Aye.
Senator Johnson.
It's your birthday.
Senator Lewis.
Nay.
Hey, I want a photo.
Senator Utz.
Aye.
Senator Walker. Senator Malaga.
Aye, but out of love.
I will amend that in a moment. Senator Henry. Senator Bernstein.
Just to point out that we also have a community on campus. Max, I think, we might.
Information that is from the play, and so people take props back when the play's over. So that person brought it back and brought it to our house while we were watching Game of Thrones on Sunday. So it
Point of
was a little
privilege.
spooky. Yeah.
Do not tempt me with a good time. Carry on.
Senator Bernstein.
I just wish that we maybe.
Senator Sapiro Santos. Senator Tia Valencia.
Aye.
President Hernandez. President Cooper. President Lanham. Hi. Why hello, Chair? What is in your opinion?
Is the opinion of the chair that the ayes can kiss my ass. This bill unfortunately passes.
Language.
Moving on, as you were, officer reports. Hey, it's me. First off, screw all you.
Oh wait, I need to amend.
Oh, I was with, out of love.
Out of it, yes, thank you, appreciate it. So, Thursday, we have the State of the Student Body Address. I'm regretting doing this now, because now I have to go and speak.
What did you
But
expect?
I would really appreciate it if everyone could come. I understand there's some obligations. Classes have been kind of reshifted around, including my own, to that time, which sucks. But be that as it may, if you can make it, I would really appreciate it. If you can't, I understand. I'm inviting all students, staff, and faculty. There will be a flyer. Rose, did I forward that to you yet? No. Could you forward it to Rose?
Yeah.
Actually, could you forward it to everybody?
Yes.
Thank you. Cece's going to forward a flyer to everyone. It's really beautifully done. Just send it out to your constituents. Please invite them and encourage them to come, because I really want them to know what's going on and what we as an SGA have done this year. Our banquet is on Sunday the 7th. No, Sunday at 7 in the pub. Bonap is catering. I said last week you could bring food, but don't do it until they're gone, because they will get upset. Or just don't do it at all. That might be preferable. So, yes.
Where and at what time is the thing to see the
State of the Student Body Dress will be in St. Mary's Hall on Thursday, the 25th at 4:15 p.m. I don't expect it to be more than half an hour, 45 minutes tops. An hour if absolutely it must be, but there are only 3 people speaking, myself, Rose, and Rebecca, and if for some reason any of the 3 of us push our time to its absolute limits, I'll be upset. Please don't. I made it. Not because of you, but because there's also, I had my class, my 10 o'clock got rescheduled to 4:45, so like, it's more like a social gathering. It was a small one. So anyway, final thoughts. Thank you all. Thank
This
you
is so
for
sad.
this semester, this year. I appreciate it. Get the guillotine. All right, moving on. Vice President Fennell is not here, but she sent me this really long paragraph and has required me to read it. Quote. Hey, everybody. What? No, not even a little. Do I sound like I could read it close? Hey, everybody. Sorry I couldn't be at the last meeting due to my technological skills being needed elsewhere, but I really loved being your live president, Viva president, and I thank you for being patient and understanding with me as I learned with the rest of you the responsibility of our roles. I can't wait to come back next year, a senator with MF speaking and voting rights. Andrew, you have to deal with this. But I love you all and see you on the banquet. Please read this during student speak out, please, and just before we start. She should have liked that. So that was a message from me. Moving on. Director of Campus Programming.
The only thing I have to say, we have one last event for the semester, which is tomorrow night. We have Spidey the Hypnotist. Yes, I understand the name. He is at 8:30 p.m. in Cole Cinema. And that's it for us. It's sad, but that's all we got going on. Yeah.
Are there spiders involved?
No. There better not be. I mean, I can't go, but there better not be. It's be bad.
Director of Publicity.
I sent the email.
Thank you, I saw that. Make sure you put that, actually, do not put that in your constituent reports. Send that as a separate email. Please, for the love of God, it'll get lost in constituent reports. When you guys set the agendas, I see people actually reading them. I don't know that they'll ever actually be constituent to save their lives.
Oh, no, I'm saying, what's the announcement? You sent me the announcement for the thing? No, never mind. I didn't know what your link was.
Point of order.
Anything else?
I thought it was like something separate.
Thank you. Treasurer Miller.
Oh, wait, I spelled Thursday wrong.
Yes, you did. Actually, there were a couple mistakes, and I sent it to Dan Mandel, and he corrected all of them. And so I actually have the corrected version, the quote-unquote corrected version, but I didn't want to say that.
Do you want me to correct it?
No, I have a corrected version. I'll send that. Send, it doesn't matter, no one's gonna look.
All right, here. So Colin, there's an inside SMC announcement for finance board. Colin's putting out flyers tomorrow or tonight for the board. So please, if you know anyone who's interested, apply for it. The other thing is I sent out an email regarding the awards voting. So please vote on that before tomorrow night. I'm gonna close the voting at like around midnight tomorrow night. So that way Amber has enough time to print both the awards for Sunday. Last thing is, it's been an honor working with all you. It's been 3 times.
You're up.
I've done that shit for 2 years now. This is probably my favorite you're doing it. If you ever need a bill written, please let me know because I don't know what I'm gonna do on Tuesday nights anymore. Like it's gonna be
You're gonna be in law school.
You're gonna continue not sleeping.
I'm still gonna not. I don't have time for this.
All right, moving on. We'll
I'm trying to it's my
Order.
Club coordinator check.
Alright, if you're doing paper plate awards and you don't have a paper plate, I have paper plates, so you can shoot me an email. Not normally home that much, so So you guys should me an email, let me know when you would like to pick it up or when you're free to meet me at Campus Center to come up. Other thing is, shameless plug, there is dance show is this weekend. So
Yes.
to see that. Also Bottom County is this weekend, so go support Chancellor's Point Club. And yeah.
Parliamentarian Herbert.
Thanks for passing my bylaws, and I wanted to make that easier for next year. I had a great time this Parliament. A lot of fun doing all the legislation and learning the bylaws and everything. And I'm very excited for our next year's Parliament. Yeah, so just thank you for making this a great year. I have a lot of fun.
Senate Leader.
Thanks for having me here, Senate Leader. Thanks for letting me be a repeat. And sad for me, but I can make good out of it. I won't be studying it back next semester, so I'll be able to take manager for this year.
Student Trustee Hoover.
Nothing to report. Thanks everyone for this year. If you're coming back next year working in the SGA, I encourage you to do all those great things and more. And Dean Brown is a human.
He's,
Yeah, he's a person, so, that's all he's supposed to do.
All my council here, Secretary Hydra Ward.
Oh, yes, sorry. Hi. So, Shanika Derrick will be taking over my position next year. Yay, finally found somebody. So she basically already is up to speed on what I've been doing because I've been telling her all throughout the semester. But I'm in the process now of just training her, just sharing my process of how I've been doing things, how to plan events, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so that is taken care of. Also with the new ICE ADP coming in, they will be hiring all new ICE fellows. So if anybody is interested in that, I would definitely be on the lookout for it next semester. They don't start hiring until next semester, but if anybody has questions about it now, feel free to ask me, or next year, because I can still, answer emails and stuff. Basically, ICE fellows do what I do, but they get paid. They meet with different affinity groups, help plan events, brainstorm ideas as to how to help people with diversity and inclusion, things like that, how to with training, stuff like that. So yeah, you don't have to just be a minority to apply. All are welcome to apply because it's an issue that affects all of us. So yes, any questions, you can just have people email me, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Fun fact, the new ICE person won't just be an ADP, they're gonna be a full vice president. They just changed that very recently.
Cool.
Thank God. There we go.
Student resident flight, Casper Woodhead.
I do not have anything to report. I would just like to thank you guys for appointing me midway through the semester. It feels like it's been a year already. But
Imagine how it feels for us.
this was an amazing position. It is kind of sad that I had to have this job in order to get this position. But I just want to remind you guys all that RAs, despite this year having some trouble with students, we are human. We are very sad, and I'd like you guys to take mercy on us, especially this weekend. If you're going out on duty, please, I'm going to be on duty. Please have mercy on me. I am very tired and I'm very sad, and I only have 2 minutes left. Thank you.
Yes, Sarah.
Thank you. Moving on, Senator reports, and first off, class officers. You all three got anything?
Yes. Bring $15 to Bottom County because we'll finally have insurance in, so you guys should just bring $15 and find me. I'll be if I got a shirt and I'm not going, I'll be contacting you. Okay. Pre-order. Yeah, also, if you aren't gonna be a Bottom County and you want a shirt, that'll roll over in next year.
Actually, that should just be enough.
Okay, I got you.
Anything you two?
Well, wearing the same shoes.
Yeah, I noticed that. Actually, Morgan noticed that.
Oh my goodness!
I love that. That was
cool. I'm powerful. You know how it is.
That's so cute.
Well, my announcement is to push to purchase gala tickets. Only 80 people have bought it, so I'm gonna need. So I'm gonna really need you guys to push it because I am relying on way more than 80 to fund this event. Thank you.
True. Senators.
You had that thing, remember? That thing I sent to share with you?
That, yeah.
T-shirt.
Yeah, our T-shirt.
It's like a T-shirt, but a
You like it?
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, that's sweet.
What's her renaming for next year?
We didn't rename it yet because I
requires
was
time.
Yes, we can probably just change to it. Okay, like.
So, alright, so this is, my, like, it's technically a Venn diagram, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. That's all my glasses, so I'm reading it slow. So, John, can I just give you my statement real quick, just go down.
Also, if you need to leave for dance, get out, go. I appreciate you being here. But
If anyone needs a ride, I drove.
I also drove.
That's more than I thought.
Bye.
You're the kindergarten.
Bye, wonderful people. Thank you for being here.
Wow, this is really my last SGA meeting. I've been
Don't say
there
that,
for
don't say
4
that.
years.
For you.
I need like one more look. One more.
That's all right.
This is crazy, yo.
All right,
Just give it to Alan.
Nope.
all right. I say it quietly.
Alright.
Okay, I'm leaving if anyone's coming with me.
All right,
So,
yeah.
I'm very proud of the student issues committee for the work that was done this year. Unfortunately, we had to push off mental products,
You want me to read it?
sorry, until the beginning of next semester.
I need to, I want
And
to.
EC Bank should be currently constrained by legislative issues. Essentially, the state of Maryland, says you cannot in any way, shape, or form dispense any medicine whatsoever, prescription, non-prescription, via vending machine or similar device. We are working on getting a waiver from the Secretary of Health. So it's useful for money is held in escrow and some of the fun stuff. Imagine the next year, there's going to be a push from the SGA and some members of the board to actually fix that issue. But we do the best we can on that front. Scope of these problems, scope of these problems and policy objectives is such that they both require a significant amount of time and effort to solve. Merging the responsibilities of both bodies into a singular body with responsibility to solve both day-to-day student issues, for example, creating comfortable living spaces and common spaces, as well as finding solutions to gaps in student services, for example, mental health, reproductive and sexual health services, would create a body that would be torn into so many different directions that in the end it would solve them. As it currently stands, I don't think that would be a very useful body. I think keeping it separate is imperative for the well-functioning of the two bodies again. Now each body should seek counsel with the other, and there may well be times where both bodies are able to work on the same issue, which is fine. I encourage cross communication between both groups, and I hope we see them working together in the future. That being said, the goals of each of the issues they are trying to solve while within the realm, while relating to student life in general, are both fundamentally different. Keeping both groups separated allows them to focus on the areas of expertise and solve problems in the future. Does that make sense? Okay. I can go up, scroll up. It's more kind of the way I envisioned it is that the SLIP C with the infrastructure fund will be focused on student living conditions as it pertains student comfort, entertainment, and productivity. For example, study spaces, common areas, etc. There is dedicated funding for that group, and it's very broad. And it should be able to accomplish things, multiple things in multiple different areas throughout the year. Whereas SLIB, we focus on student living as it pertains to easing financial burdens, increasing student access to goods and services that are necessary to thrive as it varies, mental health, reproductive health, etc. There is no dedicated funding for that board, and both are, Split is highly selective in what they're choosing to deal with. Not necessarily simply, trying to find funding for pool tables and stuff is more long-term, a lot more specific. They both represent student life. They both help create institutional memory. They both, in some ways, work towards infrastructure, and they both move together. That is my spiel. If there's any questions.
Cool. Any questions for Alex before we move on to other senator reports? Thanks for the clarification. Yes, sorry.
It's not really a question, it's just a comment, like, this is very impressive.
Don't fuel his ego.
I mean,
No, sorry,
I just think that like from the beginning of the semester, y'all came a long way. And I'm just very proud of things like this. And I think that all of the seniors should be really proud of themselves for the work that they did.
That's just how I feel about all of you right now.
I've had this sub here for at least an hour. I'm so hungry.
Why didn't you eat it?
Because I don't want to see food in front of everyone.
Eat your food.
We can also just, you just set up back at the door. I had a setup, there was a plan. And I remember we had SGA, but. What? And the meeting.
Soon. Do you have anything to report?
No.
Besides that? Okay. Any other reports? Just despite me. Thank you guys. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Bye. Yeah, we're done. Language, sir. We're done.